John the Other here, obviously. I just read something that blew my mind, and I'm going to read a little bit of it to you as well as give you the link in the low bar. It was published on Forbes.com, written by a guy named Bill Frezza. Bill writes for a number of different publications, including Forbes, also does a radio show, and is the president of the Alumni House Corporation of the MIT fraternity that he was a part of when he went to school. The article is called "Drunk Female Guests Are the Gravest Threat to Fraternities." And I'm just going to scroll down and read a couple of paragraphs. These are things that he's advising young men in college, particularly young men in fraternities, to do as self-preservation. Here's what Bill Frezza recommends to his young colleagues. He calls them his young charges. Identify drunks at the door. I don't care how pretty or flirtatious a young lady is. If she's visibly drunk, don't let her in. Although we were once reprimanded for turning away a drunk female who ultimately required an ambulance when she passed out on the sidewalk, it would have gone a lot worse for us if she had collapsed inside. He's talking about us being the fraternity. He continues on further down. Never ever take a drunk female guest to your bedroom, even if you have a signed contract indicating sexual consent based on new standards being promulgated on campus. All consent is null and void the minute a woman becomes intoxicated, even if she is your fiancée. And while a rape charge under these circumstances is unlikely to hold up in court, it doesn't take much for a campus kangaroo court to get you expelled, ruin your life, and saddle your fraternity with a reputation for harboring rapists. Now this is good advice, but this article on Forbes is no longer on Forbes. It was taken down, almost certainly based on pressure from social justice warriors and feminists. You can't say that! But you can say it, you have to. Now, it's not just that rational thinking adults are saying in this climate of women are not accountable for anything they do. I mean, that's the climate being pushed, especially on university campuses, and especially in matters of alcohol and sex. Women are not responsible. Women make decisions. They decide to get drunk. They decide to dress a flirty or slutty or sexually provocative way. But whatever happens as a result, never, ever, ever are you to ever suggest that it has anything to do with their decisions. They're not responsible people. In fact, they're not even people. They don't have minds. They're like leaves blown by the wind. They're not actually people. That's what we're saying. They're not adults. They're not sentient thinking people. That's the idea. That's the standard that is being pushed all the way from the White House and by social justice warriors and people lobbying to change the laws. But in that climate, as a man, you're now responsible for whatever happens to any female who crosses your path, especially if she's drunk. You're responsible. If she wanders into traffic, you're responsible. You pursue her romantically, you flirt, and you buy her drinks, and everything goes great, and you end up in bed together. Well, if she regrets it afterwards, you're guilty of rape. It doesn't matter if she agrees. What they're saying is that women are not really people, that they can't govern themselves. And Bill Frezza and anybody else who points this out has to be silenced. It's not enough that this is the new standard of non-responsibility for one group of people and hyper-responsibility for the other. It's that if you talk about it, if you caution other men, watch out, because her decisions are not owned by her and you're going to be legally liable for any regret. You'll be accused of rape, your academic career will be ruined, etc. It's that those discussions are not allowed. No, they took the article down from Forbes. This is reading it out of the Google cache. A girl, a woman, might have her feelings hurt, might be made to feel uncomfortable if the men around her treat her correctly as if she is a threat to them. Her feelings of being uncomfortable are more important than the destruction of your life. It blows my mind. And what are the consequences of this? I mean, this is just inside the campus culture right now, right? Well, no. This is spreading throughout our society. And the real consequences are that men doing business or having careers or signing contracts or doing anything are going to have to start treating women as irresponsible parties, meaning if you are doing business, you can't treat a female signing a contract as a female signing a contract. Her signature on a contract means nothing. It's unenforceable because she's never responsible. Her promise is nothing. It doesn't count. She's not responsible. And not just with alcohol and sex, but with everything. Why do we let them vote? Why are we letting them do business? Why are we letting them give testimony in court? All that is going to have to change if this is the new standard. Women, and no women seem to be standing up in opposition to this, so apparently they want this. If there is no responsibility for choices made, for signatures on contracts, for promises, for public behavior, for the decision to drink or take your clothes off, then you can't continue to operate with somebody where their choices or their bad behavior is going to legally threaten you. That's the new standard. But if you talk about it, you'll be silenced. It's not just enough to protect yourself. You have to pretend that the gun pointed at you isn't there, because the person with the gun might get their feelings hurt. It makes my head spin.